Well, hello and good day to you all. Thank you for watching today. Well, hello and good day to you all. Thank you for watching today. So today's show is going to cover the V56 liter Maxi 4 top box, and actually we're going to put the headlights to from day 3. Thank you for watching today's show. Today we're going to cover the Givy top box 56 liter Maxi 4 headlights. We're going to put actually Admore lighting to the signal sections of the bike so that you can get more brightness and also more recognition in the streets when you're making signals. And that's the focus on today. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have the Admore lightings that I just received via DHL. And basically, we're going to actually open the box up and just talk about the contents that's in the box. So basically, got the manual instructions, how to go about setting up the Givy, and also the POSI connections, which is, I love these things. They're great tools to have so that you don't cut wires if you're kind of antsy about messing with the wires. This is a very good tool to have to allow you to just pierce a little bit to the wires and actually get the connection that you need. Also, I was surprised, and I'm glad that they did this. They also provided you with the bit, so you don't have to actually buy your own bit. It already comes with one as well, so it's an added bonus. So here's the lights that you'll be putting on the windshield, and some wiring assistance. And so this is the core of the whole process I'm going to put together. So we're going to get started. Take 2. So we're going to open up the box, and as you can see, this is the manual with all the instructions on how to set up the backlights. So we're going to take care of that. Good instructions they have, so we'll see as we go about and doing it. Some additional information. One of the things they provide is actually the POSI connectors. I love these things. These are great tools to have because they provide you the ability, if you are skittish about connecting or cutting wires, this will actually just allow you to pierce the wires and that you go about the connection perfectly fine. So one of the things they did provide, and I was very impressed and happy that they provided, was the bit. So now you could actually cut through and drill without having to go buy your own bit. So they come providing that as well. So that was a great thing to do that. So this is the wire you need for the back lights. I said the front lights earlier, but this is the back light. It's a very simple process. You can see it's 2 sets, so they have their own connectors. So it looks really simple process to do. So you have some adhesive connections so that it could help you with the wire management. And lastly, we have the whole setup with the cords plug in and to make all your connections. So we're going to do that, and that's the project for today. So I'm going to keep track of the time so I can give you an estimate how long I'm going to do it, knowing that also I'm going to be doing some editing and talking at the same time, which add up to the time. So as opposed to if I was just focusing on doing it without instructions, setting up, breaking, stopping, and going. So we're going to basically add the backlights to this section here first, which is the right side. And I'm going to unscrew these 2 screws right here. And basically I'm going to do that on both sides. When I'm done, I'll get back. So I have a couple of things I want to point out as I'm doing this. Basically, you don't need a drill to actually do it. You could use basically a standard screw. And we definitely do need a scissors to actually cut the package open. And also the package inside where the lights are, there's a little taps that comes in where you're going to basically be putting the wires, these wires in there. So just be mindful, you're going to put them in there, so we'll put that in a second. But I also wanted to point out, in putting the lights on, there's 3 sections where you need to unscrew. This is one of them right here. There's one right underneath when we lift the box we saw earlier. and I just found out there's another one right towards here. So if you find out you still can't loosen up the lights, just basically unscrew the third lights. There's 3 lights total you need to unscrew, which allow you to access the light. So basically it's this screw right here. Trying to focus on right there. There's one inside right about here, and then there's one right there. Is where you need to unscrew that. So here's what I've done so far. I've taken the adhesive, which is a pain in the butt, but it's very necessary so that the wires will go through and the lights will show up exactly properly as well. So I drilled a hole already, a small little hole, as you can see, right into here. And actually, if you look carefully, the hole is actually pre-drilled for you, and I'll show you that when I do the left side. You may not be able to see, but there's a small little hole that's already pre-drilled. So you could basically use a bit to just poke the hole just gently, and it actually will go right to the other side. So this back here, everything, make sure the lights are in properly and they do fit properly. And so I've taken the adhesive from this side, plugged it in. So everything's in properly now, and the drill is perfectly into the screw. And make sure when you're lining it up that it is actually going towards the end of this side, not on the top side. So I'm just going to basically push all this in there, and you can see the wires are coming in from the other side. So as I show you with a closer zoom, the wires have actually poked through on the other side from this end right here. And basically, as I pull it in all the way, I'm not going to put it all in, but I'm just going to tighten it, make sure it's in, and then I'll make sure everything's fitted properly before I actually screw everything back on. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for the for the left side, and I'll show you the dot if it's possible with the lighting I have. You may not see it because it's black. So, but the hole is kind of pre-drilled, like I said, and it was good and very helpful to have that there. So as you can see, I had my first boo-boo, you could say. So these wires are not really soldered in properly or good enough. So I'm gonna have to resolder this. As I was pushing the wire in further to that pre-drilled hole, this came off, and so it became loose. So that's kind of disappointing, which will take more time. Now I have to go solder that back onto it so that it'll stick. So I'm going to be careful when I do the left side and make sure that I don't push this end of the wire all the way in. So we need that loose, because else this is going to come off very easily. So just be aware of that when you're doing yours. So I'm on the left side, basically ready to actually drill the hole. So I've taken a flashlight to help you so you can see better, but it's very self-explanatory. When you zoom in, you see this little indentation in here, which kind of helps you determine, where the hole's gonna go. So if you can see it, I'm gonna zoom as best as I can for you, but there you go. Don't need the light. So this is the little pre-drill hole. It's more of an indentation than a pre-drill hole, we could say. And basically, that's what I did on the right side to actually position the wires to go right through. So now I've actually already put the adhesive, pressed it down, and be careful that not to loosen that too much. And that was one of the things I did on this side. So I broke off the end piece for the right side because I was moving this wires back and forth and got loose. So be careful when you're doing yours that you don't do that. So this is already in here, so I'm just going to drill the hole and put that in there, and this will be all set, ready to go. So the instructions say to connect basically these little devices right here into the end of this. So I've already done that. So make sure it's black, red, yellow. Black, red, yellow is the setup. And basically what's going to happen is that when you connect the two, you're going to have this end. So I'm assuming this is going to be the end that goes inside, and these wires is going to connect to each other like this. Make sure it's this side, which aligns to the black, red, yellow on the other end as well. So They come out very easily. Push on the tab, pull out, comes out. So I will do that on the right side. Like I said, mine's damaged, so I'll take care of it. So you just need to see how to do one side. Very straightforward. Now I'm going to connect and wire these around, so it's going to be interesting. So basically right now I've already emptied out the top case and taken out the pad, and so I'm ready to actually pre-drill inside this hole right here. And so I'm going to use the bit that is provided with that to basically drill. It's a big bit, so you don't need to go, the hole is big enough, but you don't need to drill so much in it, because all you want is this portion tip of the bit. I already measured just right fit so that the whole thing is in there, because this is actually has a screw, and this screw is basically gonna go right in here and tighten it. So that's the whole purpose of what you're gonna do afterwards. So you don't want the hole to be too big. So I've already drilled my hole, and so I'm just gonna take this upside down and connect it and screw it tight with this little screw that was provided. So basically straightforward. So unlike I had previously unexpected from just recording, I thought the hole from the drill bit size was good enough, but it seems that it's not, because I had some difficulties actually screwing and tying the bottom base of the nut. So I had to basically make the hole as wide as the circumference of it, so that it will fit and naturally tighten up. So basically I'm assuming the procedure is going to be that the wires just connect directly and connect up. So basically I'm going to assume that the wiring system, the way it's going to work, that I'm just going to line it up, and this is going to go straight up and connect to that. But I'm not going to use the tabs, the stickies for the wire management yet. Just want to make sure that I got everything done perfectly fine before I go ahead and utilize this to connect everything. So I've already connected the So I've got me saying quiet. So I've connected the adhesive attachment that they supply, so that basically I'm gonna line them up. It's very straightforward, and I'm gonna connect this to here and make it just a simple connection up here, and then we're basically done for this section. And basically we'll be doing the base of the mount for the bike after this. So as you can see, we're outside and basically getting ready to put and mounted the back rest of the top case. So let me give you a quick update of where we're at. So I've actually put the back lights on, and actually I've tested it after I started the booking piece that I shared with you earlier. What I've done is also tested it to make sure it worked fine, and it does. So it's back in place, and I've actually wired them. Make sure when you putting it on, the wires that you select, because on the instruction sheets it gives you exact instructions of yellow and green. One is for the right side and one is for the left side. I forgot which one it is, but it's in the instructions, so make sure you connect them exactly based on where you put the wires. So this is the hole tool, so everything's in place. So now I'm actually took my bike and I docked it onto the main bracket for the back stand. So I'm here showing you because I had some problems with the drilling, so I thought I didn't have to make a big hole, and actually I didn't make the hole. But one of the problems I'm having is that this piece right here is not actually connecting the way it should have been connecting. So I'm kind of gonna have to make a hole a little bigger, just so that when I put it, it tightens a little bit, but it always comes off. So I'm either gonna have to drill the hole a little bigger or do something else. But we're gonna actually take it to the next step and see what happens as I go along with it. So you're looking at the backrest for the top case that has been mounted. I've already pre-drilled the hole, and so just like the top case, there are some little fine prints for you to actually insert the drill hole, and exactly that's what I've done. So it's not a perfect hole, but one of the things is the other end doesn't quite fit underneath properly, so there's going to be some adjustments that has to be made, or I'm going to have to make this hole a little bigger just to make everything fit. So one of the things that is a problem, and I hope that they watch this video, the people who make this product, to actually help in when putting the brackets, that it helps lining up, or some arrow to indicate if these are being lined up properly, because you cannot really tell with it being so dark. So what I've done is I use this is a 17-inch to actually tighten that, so now that bracket that was loose has stayed in there. Now I just have to basically align this, so I'm basically back and forth adjusting this, because one of the problems with the backrest bottom part for the motorcycle, the hole that's drilled, there's a lot of things underneath it that doesn't allow this to be flat and perfectly, but there's only a small space that allows that to be adjusted. So I had to find the perfect spot to put this in so that the whole top portion of this part comes up properly, so that it will line up. So I'm just trying to line up the two of them together so I could lock it in. Once you have it figured out, you're not going to take it apart or take the back top off the bike all the time. So it's might as well, once you find the good fit, leave it there. And like for me, I only take the top case off towards the end of the season and I put it inside. So that's all you're going to use it for. So just once you line it up, you're basically halfway there and you're ready to connect the wires afterwards. So it took me a while to get the connections together, but I finally was able to line them up properly and get a good fit. So that's actually what you're looking at right now, is the two top and bottom part of the connection together. So it's solidly in. So I'm basically going to snap this part in, and that should lock in place as well. Now I haven't screwed anything or use any adhesive to connect the bottom wires, so I'm actually going to do that right now once I've all it lined up. It's the best way to do it. So it's a lot of adjusting to make sure this thing lined up properly and connecting it before you do anything else. Alright? So one of the cool things of having an MP3, PRJ MP3, is the storage container, which is right here in the back. I love that part of my motorcycle. So I didn't want to actually drill a hole to put the wires through. So what I've done is actually use the adhesive that came with the package, and I've actually just connect them underneath the top case bracket for the motorcycle, and underneath it. That's what I've done. So you could actually see that perfectly. That's what. And I also have some crazy glue to put on it just in case if it's loose, so that it doesn't come off. So now I'm basically ready to attach my wires for my lights. I'm probably going to do that the next day instead. It's getting dark. So that'll be the next step when you see this video. So as you can see, I've actually done a lot of wiring before. My bike has a lot of wires too. If you could see inside, in here, if I zoom in here, you see I have a lot of going on, wiring and stuff like that. And that's because I like to be bright when I'm riding so that everybody can see me and don't get hurt. Always safety is always important when you're riding. Safety is always important when you're riding. So as you can see, I have a lot of wiring going on. I have been working on my bike for many years, and I put a lot of wiring. So this is the connection I've made to the bike. So as you can see, I've been doing a lot of wiring before, and so this is the completed project. So I've actually made all the connections with the adapters, the strings to the back of the Admore Lights device. So as you can see also, I have a lot of wiring going on the battery, because I do have a lot of connections, and it's because I have care for safety when I'm riding, and so I could be seeing that's one of the points of adding those lights onto your bike. So one of the things I've done is have all the wires done in place, and so now it's just a matter of connecting the right side of the bike to the lighting. And one of the things I'm going to show you is that I've already connected all the lights so you could see how it's working properly. And I got a PRJ MP3, by the way. So this is a tail light for the light, so it's already on. I don't know if you could really see the light. Both sides on. I had a little wiring issue where the left side tailgate, which is the red wire, and the blue wire for the brake light, they were kind of offset, so I had to swap them out, because what was happening is that the light wasn't coming on until I pressed the brakes, and then signal would you'll see the flashing lights for turn signals. So by doing the cross wiring and swapping out the way they had it in the manual, it actually worked perfectly. So I have the tail lights always on, and then when I put on the brake lights, it gets dark, brighter, and as well as the signals. So what I've done right here is only open the back of my motorcycle right side so I could get the wiring, and I have a connection going there. And what I'm using here is a simple posy connection, which is a double-sided posy connection, which will allow me to connect both of these wires here with the wires with this, so everything will actually connect together. So that's what I had to do, because the cord is not long enough. And so I did, since I've always had all my wires on this side, so it was easy for me to make all the connections there. As you see, I use a lot of posy connections. It's great tools to have when you're wiring your bikes without having to cut too many cables out. So by doing so, everything was on the left side, and so the only cable that I need to reconnect, because this is not long enough, so I had to again use those wires so I could make the two connections work together. So that's the only thing different that you have to do when setting up your wiring. So I've turned on my hazard lights on, so you see the flashing tube, you can see from the light, and I'm putting the brakes lights on, so as you can see, when I turn on the brakes, it gets brighter. As well as this is the left signal turn. When you press on the brakes, it still comes on. That was the issue I was having before, so I just redid the wires and it actually worked properly. So I'm gonna turn the right signal on, and it should be flashing as it is, and then when I press the brakes, it gets brighter. So for extra showing, I took the liberty to show you at nighttime the flashing lights. So as you can see, the basic tail lights are on. So I'm going to press the brakes and just give you the basic function to see that it is fully working fine. So that's it. So that's the Admore lights for the Givy top case, Maxi 4, the V56 E series top case. So that's the new Admore lights lighting for that top case. Hope you enjoy your. I hope you enjoyed the video, and definitely share your comments and like it, and definitely subscribe.